Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Chat Network. I'm your host, Niko, and here with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. What's going on, man?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, we're live in the studio, so to speak, here once again today. Yeah. As promised, we'll try to throw these out there every once in a while. We actually get together in person and, have a few brews and record one of these things. And and then when we do make it over officially to the new channel, everybody, maybe we'll start doing these things live once in a while as well for you guys. We'll put it out there live. So you can see the real shit go down behind the scenes, right?
That's it. Coming soon.
Yeah.
Got to be a countdown.
That's right. So as of this announcement right now, I announced it a show or two back, but we got about a week left on the Late Night Chat Network officially. Then we're going over to basically our sister site, if you want to call it that, our affiliated site, which is going to be a new YouTube channel, which is Late Night Collectors Community. So the LNCC, everybody. So that's where all of their Comic Shop Talk weekly episodes are going to be airing. It'll only be there. It won't be on the Late Night Chat Network YouTube page anymore. Of course, we are still always will be Late Night Chat Network, but we are just going to pivot over to our new YouTube channel there, which is more specific to the audience of collectors, people that are into these comic videos, people that are into some of the cards videos that we do, things like that. Anything that if you're a hobbyist, if you're somebody who has a hobby, who likes the hobby stuff that we talk about, definitely check us out on that channel. So, check this out. We're going to put the link in the description here for you guys. So you can just shoot on over to that page when you get a chance and hit that subscribe button, because as of next week, that's going to be our last show on the Late Night Chat Network. So episode 10. And then after that, all the episodes will be only available on Late Night Collectors Community YouTube page. So we've already transferred all of the episodes over there. Like, we have all our playlists set up right now. We're just kind of finalizing a couple of pieces of art for the show. We're gonna have a new banner for this show, which will be really cool. Really looking forward to that. And but yeah, everything's pretty much organized in the playlist over there, guys. And but they will not be airing on Late Night Chat Network YouTube page. So can't stress that enough. So make sure to follow us over there. I hope you guys, if you've discovered this show, you've been enjoying it thus far, and then you follow us over there. I'm looking forward to it.
That's it. I'm subscribed. Are you?
You weren't last episode. I remember I had to tell you to get on that.
I'm in there now.
You're like, by the way, actually, I'm not even subscribed. I need to get on this. So, yeah, no, for sure. So, yeah, there we go. Angle that a little bit better for you there, so you can see Chris.
There we go. I can talk and see me at the same time.
That's right. You can do two things at once, everybody. Look at this guy. Multi-talented. All right. So without further ado, though, let's get into the comic shop talk here for you guys. Let's get into it. This is a nice week of comics here. At least a decent sized week. Next week is fucking huge. We'll get into that later, though, everybody. Next week is a huge week of comics. So we're going to be going out with a bang on Late Night Chat Network. That's going to be like
big pulls.
Yeah, it's going to be a longer episode, I'm predicting. So here we go. So first comic up here on the docket here, since Sensational She-Hulk #1. I think Chris got a copy of that. Yeah. I actually ended up reading Chris's copy of this because I didn't pick up I didn't pick up a copy of it.
I don't know.
I was going to trade weight it, but I decided to check it out and borrow it from Chris and read it.
Yeah, I got the Art Germ variant cover here.
Yeah.
Not his best work, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah. It's he's one of the more popular cover artists these days, and people really like his stuff. So what'd you think of this, Chris?
I love this comic. I thought it was great. I got to see Jennifer Walters. You haven't seen her kind of depowered in a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen her before with as a human, let's say. And you kind of almost get a Peter Parker vibe there. She's kind of struggling to live her life, and with the battle scenes of the
against Titania.
Yeah.
It was a
maybe
long
not
time.
battle, but just the back and forth with her. Everybody's trying to give her money for some reason.
Yeah. Well, she's hit hard times apparently, and for a lot of She-Hulk fans, I know you guys are really happy out there. One of my co-hosts actually on one of the other comic podcasts I was on, Death Store Prods. They do a comic book podcast as well. And my buddy Birdie on that show, shout out to him. He's a huge She-Hulk fan, and he's hated on this recent iteration of the Savage She-Hulk in the Jason Aaron Avengers since it's being a thing. Like, he's hated this version of it. So I know personally some people that are huge fans of this character hated the direction that her character has gone in recent years. So to see her kind of break through break through to her like longtime fans, and like you said, see her in this form, like being a lawyer, being, you know what I mean, Jennifer Walters once again, and you know, having a first issue like this to kind of like bring it back to that kind of stuff. Like between this and the Fantastic Four recent appearance, this is the She-Hulk I know and love as well. Right?
I was worried a little bit in this comic that she wasn't even going to turn into the She-Hulk, because she was almost battling Titania there for a bit, as Jennifer Walters, or it's Jennifer Walters, right? Yeah. Without turning into her, and then when she turned into a boom, it's a great panel. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I agree. It was a great first issue. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't pick this up initially in issues. I'm definitely going to pick up the trade with this when it comes out. I am a fan of the character, and I think this is a good start for her, because it was kind of like She-Hulk back to basics, but not only just as She-Hulk, like you said, as herself. And you know, she's kind of starting from the bottom. She had to take like a job in a firm where she's not really on top anymore. Like she's not like the hottest like kind of lawyer in New York or whatever she is anymore. But she's definitely, you know, she's determined, and you know, thankfully, thanks to her good friends, what's in Hank Pym's ex-wife, what's her name? Jenna Van Dyne. Yeah, thank you. She hooked her up with a sweet pad there, and everything, all the amenities she needs, right? So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, like you said, it was nice. It was refreshing too, because they took the time to like introduce you to the character again, and it was a very light read. Like it wasn't like big events happen.
Good fun comic, good fun #1 compared to some of the other, like, you know, the Venom series, whatever, all this big stuff is going on. This was just a nice fun read to introduce you or reintroduce yourself to Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk.
Much needed.
I thought it was great.
I agree. And nice little surprise guest appearance at the end of the issue we won't get into. But as always, you know me, guys, I always forget to mention it. There may be spoilers ahead in some of these conversations. So sometimes to discuss the books in a good way, we got to spoil what happens in them. But, you know, some things like this, in this case, we'll try to keep to ourselves. So I won't mention who shows up at the end. But again, old school Marvel villain or hero.
Who knows? I don't know.
Shows up at the end of this one. So what'd you give it?
Yeah, I give this a 4. Solid 4.
Same. Solid 4. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a great start. And I'm definitely going to check it out again. Are you going to pick this up moving forward?
I'm going to continue on reading these ones. I like She-Hulk. The art inside is, you know, it's great too. I like it.
Yeah, very good. All right, so next up we got Batman the Knight #1. So this is Chip Zdarsky's newest book out of DC. You know, he's been doing some jobs for them here and there between doing his most of his work, I would say, over at Marvel, but he's been kind of working out at both companies right now. So I'm interested to see somebody kind of do work at both sides, both sides of the big two in that respect, because I find that you can only get away with that for too long until you turn into too big of a name that one of them ties you down and they're like, you're exclusive now, right? But I like the freelance guys. The guys are able to kind of bounce around and do this kind of thing. So you know, I was looking forward to this just because, you know, I've been liking a lot of the stuff that Zdarsky has been doing so far. It was okay. I think it's definitely nothing new. Like this book takes place with this is basically him, like, I guess when he's like in school still. Like this is almost Batman year 1, like just prior to that, when he goes around the world and gets trained in this kind of thing. Because you know, at the end of this, they show some of the key players that are going to be in this story moving forward. And then you see Ducard there and you're like, yeah, okay, that's that period of time when he goes around the world, like he's going to get trained by a bunch of people. And you know, and Alfred's kind of a little bit judgmental of his choices at this point in time, you know, and it's showing you know, his struggle, I guess, being an angsty kind of teen or something in this, right? But it's you know, it seems very familiar. We've been here before. We've seen other people kind of explore this period of his life. Maybe it's been a while since we've been in this point of his life of telling a story, but it's nothing new. So I felt like it was just kind of very familiar in that sense, and it wasn't too exciting, I would say. Then there was a whole moment where he kind of joined like a fucking underground fight club or something in this. Like that seemed kind of odd, like to me, like he's getting out his aggression by joining this fucking underground fight club. And then, you know, Alfred gets all up in his face about this shit at the end of the comic. And then he kind of I think he's going to be on his way here by the end of this, it seems like. And then you also got Dr. Hugo Strange, which is getting up inside his head. Like he's like his therapist or something in this, right? Which, you know, he is a villain of Batman's, right? Like he's like,
I think in this one here, like, Bruce Wayne almost went out of his way to talk to Hugo Strange, because isn't that the end? Well, spoiler, whatever.
Yeah,
but Hugo Strange, like he like he sets up Hugo Strange to take him down, because isn't he like robbing somebody, one of his friends or something?
Right.
And and then just in the course of their conversation, they flash back to Bruce Wayne's
but then
formative times.
But then he alludes to the fact that he's thinking bigger and he's going to go out on his own and kind of like, and then he gets to the final page and you see Ducard's coming up. I was like, okay, yeah. So this is basically going the direction.
It's crazy that he says he wants to be a cop, like when he was in school or something.
Right.
It's like, come on, you're a fucking multi-billionaire or whatever, or inheriting all this stuff, and your goal is to become a cop. Come on.
Yeah. So, it was okay. Like I said, DJGN Domenico, this European guy, I've seen his work before. I actually like his art. It's a little bit abstract looking. It's a little different. And, I know some people don't like his art style because maybe some of the lines that he puts down on his artwork or the blockiness of the characters, like they kind of look a little different than like, most comic artists. But I actually like his style. I've always been a fan of his. It's a 10-issue maxi series, 10 issues. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to stick with it or I'm going to just maybe revisit it when it's collected in a trade. I definitely probably pre-ordered the next issue or two, but it was just okay for me. I gave it a 3, I think. It was okay. It was kind of bland, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 too. I was expecting almost, to be honest, I was expecting less. I thought not a swerve, but the story that's going with Hugo Strange is interesting, and it could get better for the second or third.
But that's why I'm going to give it a couple more issues. Like, again, I have faith in Zdarsky. He's been putting out some good work.
Yeah.
He actually did a great Jason Todd story in the Batman Urban Legends series that had like a bunch of like different stories in it. Like he wrote like the first 6 issues. He wrote a Jason Todd story, and Jason Todd's not a character I like, but he wrote a fucking hell of a Jason Todd story in that.
I can't see him coming to do this to just write a run of the mill year 1 for a new generation. Like, he's got something in store, something in mind there for sure. Yeah.
So I think he's just going to take probably previous events and maybe sprinkle in some new aspects of the story, maybe that are new to the character in that way, or a different perspective on it. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. But yeah, so it was an okay start. Nothing crazy. All right. So next up, Venom number 4, Chris.
I got Venom number 4 here with the ASM 300 homage cover. I don't know why they did it.
People love them.
Special 4th issue. Like, does that really deserve an homage cover? No, but I bought it anyways. Yeah. Of course I will.
Who are we kidding?
Yeah, they do it because we know we're going to buy it. But, this series itself has been in a bit of a hot seat for me. I kind of sitting there.
Been on the chopping block lately.
On the chopping block, yeah. But I got this one, and I think there's another variant cover for 5, so I'm still stuck in for 2 more issues. But this one was a little bit... a little more decent, I guess. It's kind of pulling me back in. We get some Eddie Brock in there. I think Dylan Brock is stuck by the Life Corporation. He's a prisoner there, and they got a whole bunch of symbiote, I guess, specimens there. And I thought they were all going to break out and do some crazy stuff.
Right.
But they didn't. But otherwise, there was some good hope in there. The art inside is decent. The story's moving along. I think one of the characters that were introduced in the first issue, Meridian, not Meridian, Meredith or something. I don't know. He shows up in there.
Okay.
And he unleashes, I'm not sure if it's a new character or not. Bedlam have you ever heard of a Spawn Bedlam or something?
Yeah, I think I have heard that name before.
Okay, Bedlam, yeah. Well, he gets unleashed in there too. So I'll see what happens in the next issue.
Again, I've never been huge on Venom, so like it's possible. That sounds like a Venom villain name.
Yeah.
I think it is.
None of her name like Sam or something, but anyways, It was a decent issue. I didn't mind it. I like the cover. I'll give that a 3.5.
Okay.
And what do we got next here?
Avengers 52.
Avengers 52. There's a cover there. It's got the Masters of Evil there. I don't know why they're on the cover. It's a nice cover, but it has nothing to do with what's going on in the issue.
Bedlam is a character. It seems like he's a mutant, apparently.
Okay,
so he is a character in Marvel Comics. So there you go.
So he popped out. This is a pretty decent issue. It's actually surprisingly good. Basically, it's I think it's Captain America and Captain Marvel. I don't know, they're taking care of some smart mouth little baby.
Okay.
Or
yes, the Starbrand baby. Yeah.
And the Deathlocks and I forget what they're called, like the Masters of Evil. They show up, and those are still interesting characters. You got the Red Skull with the symbiote, or I think
these are like the mashup villains where they're like kind of like
multiversal or
Right.
alternate universe villains come in, and they can still those villains kick some serious ass, and the Deathlocks are showing up in there, and it kind of moves along pretty well. It's a surprising issue. The art is great. It's funny seeing the Star Brand characters. Seems to be extremely powerful, but it's like a little baby, or maybe not a toddler, let's say.
Right.
But it talks like a normal person, and
right.
you know, they're trying to just calm this toddler down. And
well, this is because I read Avengers for like 48 issues. I literally just dropped it a few issues ago. So the Starbrand baby, of course, you know, everyone remembers Starbrand from the New Universe, right? Back in the that's from the New Universe. Starbrand was one that we were just talking about the other day. Starbrand was from the New Universe, which was a new, more mature, different line of books during exactly. They were mostly crap, but Starbrand, if you had to pick one, I think that was a standout of the New Universe books. Starbrand was probably one of them, right? I would say. But yeah, it goes to different people, that power. So I guess this like baby,
cosmic whatever,
this baby was given the Starbrand kind of markings or whatever. I forgot how it exactly happened, but earlier in the run, they found out this baby is the Starbrand because he's a baby, and Starbrand's fucking ultra powerful. It became an issue, so they basically took it upon themselves to take care of this child. So, but then, you know, what the hell do they know about raising kids?
Nothing.
Most of them don't have families, like, you know what I mean? So
so I thought that was a good issue, and there's a good reveal of the Starbrand character at the end. Surprising to me. You know, I didn't read it in any of the solicitations or, you know, the descriptions.
Right. I have one question for you. Is the story bouncing back and forth between this and Avengers Forever, or is that a separate story being told in that completely? Because I know that's the same writer writing both.
I get mixed up, but I think they are connected.
They're connected.
The Avengers Forever too. It's like a multi-universal, but I think it's just the villains are connected. Not the Avengers here are moving into.
So is the Avengers Forever story about how the villains kind of came to prominence and now they're showing up in the Avengers main title?
Basically, Avengers Forever is just alternate worlds,
right,
with those same villains, let's say.
But have they showed up in this title as of yet?
The villains or the heroes?
Any of the people from Avengers, not the heroes, obviously, but the
those Deathlocks are everywhere. Like they're the ones trying to warn everybody of these Masters of Evil are trying to collapse the multiverse.
So those stories are concurrently happening at the same time.
I think so.
Okay.
That's I can't say for sure, but
Okay.
But that's it. But anyways, this is a good story. It's surprising to me, at least. Once again, I don't like when the covers don't match the stories, but that's just me.
Right.
But I'm
get used to it.
It's kind of. I'm still complaining about it every time I see it. And when I do see a cover that matches the story, I'm going to enjoy that. And I'm going to say I like it.
Yeah.
But for this story, I'm giving this a decent 4.
Okay.
Kind of pushing it, but
yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Silver Coin number 8. Look at this cover, guys. It's a fucking dark ass comic right there. See a bunch of heads floating in the mop and bucket kind of right there.
I have mopped blood in a bucket like that. No heads though, but the water doesn't freaking turn red like that. I'll tell you that much.
It's a cool visual for a cover though.
It's good visual,
You see this sitting on the racks.
That's got to be a lot of blood that you have to mop up.
Yeah. So this continues the kind of horror anthology series of interconnected stories, somewhat with the coin being the kind of the centerpiece that kind of goes throughout each story. A different person ends up coming across the coin. It crosses their path, and something happens. They get infatuated with the coin, and it essentially leads to their demise and other people around them, and it kind of moves on, right? It's like an evil fucking coin that's from back in like the days of witches or something, like Salem or something, I believe is what we found out at the end of the first arc. But there's a different comic writer on each issue, but it's the same artist throughout, which is kind of cool because usually it's the other way around. Like you see somebody sometimes working with a lot of different artists, but this one, as I previously mentioned, I believe on the show before, Michael Walsh draws all the issues, and this one was written by Matthew Rosenberg. This was a great issue. This was probably possibly my favorite issue of the series so far. This was a really good one. This one is about a janitor that cleans up in like a business. I don't know if he's a lawyer or basically like a very successful businessman of some sort, and he works in a corporate building, and he cleans the corporate offices. So the janitor comes through one night. The guy's working late. He's sitting there. He there's a dealer that he meets with that's selling him these these rare coins. And he sees one, and then he sees the silver coin, and on the silver coin is like an actual like eye or something, right? Like right there you see. So he sees that, he's like, oh, what's that coin there? Is that one for sale? And the guy's like, oh no, sorry. And
you don't want that one.
Yeah, you know the whole. You've seen this many times in like horror movies. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, that's the only one not for sale. He's like, no, money's not an option. Just tell me how much that one is. And then he ends up buying all the coins off of him by the end, and then he leaves the office. And then the janitor comes in, mopping and kind of doing his thing, cleaning the waste paper baskets. And he's like, oh yeah, you want to see this cool acquisition I just got over here, this coin collection? And the janitor sees it, and he becomes obsessed, like infatuated with it. He's like, oh, look at that coin. Like, he's like, yeah, what's going on there? And he's like, oh, you have a good eye, my friend. And he's like, that's a very rare one. He's like, I'm gonna make off like a bandit, like whatever I paid for this, I'm gonna profit so much from this coin collection and blah blah blah. So then, the days go on, and he continues to start cleaning the office. He comes around, he's kind of, looks at it more and more, and kind of like, you could see something's happening to this guy, right? Like he becomes a little bit obsessed. All of a sudden, he gets word that they don't want him to clean that office anymore, because the other guy sees him getting a little squirrely. He's like, yeah, listen, I don't want that guy around the offices no more. We're going to put him on different floors. You're going to clean different floors now. You and some other guy are going to switch places. Anyways, he sees the coworker out and about in the world waiting for a bus, like outside the work, I guess, on their way home. And he's like, hey, so I fucking, they gave me another floor today to clean. What the hell, man? Like, I already have too much as it is. Now I got to clean this other floor. And the guy's like, yeah, that used to be my floor. And he's like, oh, really? Oh, sorry about that, whatever. And it's like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. So anyways, so the bus is starting to come up, and Buddy pushes them and fucking gets killed by the bus, right? and then later on, you find out that his wife at home, he ended up killing her, and there's like all this shit going on behind the scenes that we're not really privy to, but you're kind of it's getting revealed as the story goes on. And it ends with him and the guy who bought the coins kind of getting into a fight, an altercation in his office, and him getting security showing up, opening fire on them. The fucking boss flies through the window, like hits the pavement. The coin goes flying out. Buddy jumps out to grab the coin before he hits the ground, right? So like that's how much he's obsessed with like this coin, right?
Sounds like the ring.
Yeah.
It's my precious.
Anyways, he smashes the pavement, dead. The coin rolls away. Somebody's like, hey, this is my lucky day. Picks it up on his way. Just like a nice one and done story. It felt very similar to like if you're a fan of horror or like good anthology series, or just well-told stories. This was again, it said everything. Like even the panel, he did an interesting thing with the panel as he's falling down. Like you could see him like in the panels actually like falling down the side of the building. Yeah. So I just had a lot of fun with this. I gave this a 4.5, and I think it's the strongest issue of the series probably thus far. Maybe this and one other one I really it's been a good series overall, but because of the fact you get a different writer and a different take on it every issue, some of them are
you got some winners, you got some losers.
Exactly, but this was excellent. So yeah, definitely check this out, guys, if you're a fan of horror or just well-told one and done stories. You can literally just pick up this issue. You don't even have to have like read any of the ones previous to this.
And with those kind of stories, you never know. That could be like a first-time writer or a first-time artist in there, and that's where they make their name,
Yeah, absolutely. No, so it was good. And then next up, we got Supergirl, World of Tomorrow, number 7. This is the penultimate issue. The next one's the last issue of this series, 8-issue series. This was really good too. This was really solid. This is basically in this one, Supergirl is off kind of dealing with something. She's become like prisoner, and she's trying to make her way back to the little girl that she was helping on like below on the planet, and she's off like somewhere else in the sky fighting these people. And they have she's got the person as a prisoner that they were tracking down in this story tied up to a tree, blindfolded in this. So basically this whole issue was the little girl that she was helping, talking to this man who killed her father as he's kind of tied up to the tree. And it's just like a great, dialogue between the two characters, right? And you're getting to know them a lot better through their conversation. And anyway, Supergirl by the end of this is in trouble, and her horse is on the planet that was kind of protecting the girl as she was kind of fighting these guys. And by the end of it, she has to call upon her horse for help, essentially. But then you find out all she was doing was telling her horse that it was like the crypto basically in this.
So it's like a super horse.
Yes. She was telling the horse to protect the girl. Like she was telling her, don't come help me, because she could hear that she was in distress because she's getting her fucking ass beat in this by the end of this issue.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, like she gets really roughed up in this as she's trying to make her way back to the girl. Like she's really like, you know, at the end of her rope here, in her, you know, in the situation that she was left in. And she knows that she's been left with this killer, like, you know what I mean? Like this guy that's like, you know, a big threat. But then by the end of it, the girl whispers to the horse, she's like, no, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Go save Supergirl. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. And then at the end, the horse flies off to save her. And she's sitting there and she's got her knife and she looks at the guy on the tree, kind of like tied up. And whether or not she's going to make the decision to kill the man who killed her father, is that's
the crux of the story,
right? So there we go. So again, this is basically True Grit. If you've ever seen that, the writer Tom King had mentioned that's basically he's doing True Grit in the form of a Supergirl story. So if you've seen the film, you know it has a lot of the same themes. He basically just kind of ripped it off and put it into a Supergirl story. But it's fun. It's great. Very interesting art that you won't see in any other comic book. I gave this a solid 4. I thought it was a good issue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the last one. So next up, Hulk number 3.
Ooh.
I love this cover. This is a really great one.
Nice one.
It's a nice one. Yeah, I like the Wolverine on there and the Hulk kind of in the like.
Yeah, I was kind of cheesed off that you kind of throwing Wolverine in there, but I liked it in this. Like, it's starting to work for me a little bit.
Yeah, what'd you think of this?
I thought it was a decent issue. Like, I haven't picked it up, but there's some stuff good stuff going on, and I'm happy to follow along with the ride there. You know, I think it was kind of funny when he forgot to turn off the machine there, and freaking Hulk is going mental in the engine room.
Yeah, so I guess the newest piece of like information you get out of this issue is where we last left off. He's like in another dimension. He's now encountered another Bruce Banner version of himself, but this Bruce Banner apparently fucked up big time with
yeah, he lived in a world where the gamma bomb worked.
Yes, but he's not the one that mutated. Everybody else is. So he was like a mad scientist, Bruce Banner, in this world. And he basically has all these other people that he basically looks down on as like peasants, like fucking mutant, like, you know, freaks. He's just like, look at these fucking guys. Like, meanwhile, he's the monster because that's so I get it. It's a little bit of interesting, kind of like who's the real monster here, the Hulk or this man, Rich, where in this world, it's clearly this man. He is a fucking like literal monster because of that he's a mad scientist, essentially. Like he fucked up big time in this world, and he's meanwhile fascinated by how this version of the Hulk is actually talking and thinking like Bruce Banner, but he is a Hulk. So he can't wrap his head around that because it actually worked for him, whereas it didn't work for any of the mutations, I guess, in his world. They're all kind of just beasts, right? Like,
well, they all seem to be like the original Hulk.
Like dumb Hulk.
But there's a whole world of them there,
right? Though. Yeah, see, there's the bombs going off.
Yeah, basically everybody died, and the people that didn't die turned into a Hulk.
Yeah, so it was a nice, interesting addition to the story being told so far, right? I mean, there definitely seems to be going places now. Whereas the first couple issues, we were kind of like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is weird. It's strange. But this is a violent fucking book, man. This is like there in every issue, he manages to some of the violence. Like, look at this, man. Some of the violence in this book. Holy, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Again, it's fake a lot of it because it's inside of his head.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not digging that introspection there with him, like kind of the Hulk killing Bruce Banner, like whatever it's supposed to mean.
But I mean,
I don't mind that stuff where he's in the engine room trying to fucking shut it down.
But like you get moments like that, and you're like, whoa, like this is a violent comic, man. I was just like, I'm just surprised. Like even for a Hulk comic, I'm like, you got a mini Hulk stabbing a giant Wolverine with his own claws. Like, you know what I mean? Just I get it. You're not into the whole dream kind of.
No, like I like that stuff in the engine room, but that like, you know, that Hulk force that's always trying to kill Bruce Banner, because once he kills Bruce Banner, then the Hulk is whatever, you know, free.
Right.
It's like, fuck, that's been played to death. But some of the other stuff has been good.
Yeah.
Or decent. I like that stuff with the engine room. Like, I thought that was kind of dumb before, but
right.
It's kind of funny how they're using it. That's all I remember. That's all I got to say there is when he...
This might be my favorite issue so far,
So
though.
far,
Yeah, I think now we're actually getting into it a little bit more, and we're getting a story. It's going places. He is coming across different people while he's traveling through these dimensions instead of just being in his head the whole time, which is basically where we've been, like you said, this whole time. So I give this a 4 personally. I really enjoyed it, and the art, man, the art is a 5. I mean, Ryan Otley's killing it on the art in this book. It's an ultra violent, fucking bloody Hulk book, and yeah, it's pretty good so far. I'm liking it. This issue, I'm getting into it a lot now.
I'm liking it too. I'll give it a 3.5. I'm just want to see where this goes.
Yeah. So next up, Devil's Reign X-Men #1. Okay, that's a nice cover. I like that. The Phil Noto with the White Queen and Elektra here.
Oh, yeah, that's a top-notch cover.
Want to talk about other tie-in books that aren't really necessary? I don't know what you have to say about it, but that's kind of my thoughts on this one. Unfortunately, who would have known the best tie-in book so far would have been the fucking Dr. Octopus one? I personally think so. Like, this was disappointing for me. This one,
yeah.
I don't know. What'd you think? Maybe you think otherwise. I started to bury the lead there, but that's to me. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah, while I was reading this, I still don't know kind of what's going on there with the White Queen and Elektra. I don't know why she's even thrown in this here.
It's a past story. It's a story from the past where the White Queen and Elektra were working for the Kingpin. That's what this is. That's basically what this is. Like, it has nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's basically like, let's examine the relationships of these two characters with the Kingpin, who is a main part of Devil's Reign, along with Elektra. It was almost as like you said, there's no point in having the White Queen there. Like, it was just like, yeah.
Well, I like the part where
to call it X-Men. That's why they have to make it an X-Men book. So you got to put the White Queen in there.
I like the part where they have that tree in New York, and basically, Wilson Fisk wants them to get rid of that stupid tree and get out of New York, and they do some some political.
It's your boy Captain Krakoa.
Yeah, yeah, they do some political maneuvering to become, I guess, get diplomatic immunity or to become like part of the UN or something to get it to stay. But
yeah, you're right. That is, I guess, the main more present day story that has relation to Devil's Reign, because it is part of the city. He's cracking down on the city.
Yeah, but that could be a page in the ongoing Devil Reign series.
He wants the Krakoa gateway that's in New York City out of there. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole rights issue about the, again, like you said, like the diplomatic immunity and like the bylaws of you can't put a gate here or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're getting into some minutia type bullshit. I was looking for this to be a little bit more of a fun tie-in, whereas it's just like more like
it's
politics.
A blatant cash grab, just a freaking, because they know everybody's gonna buy X-Men, everybody's gonna buy the fucking Devil Reign X-Men tie-in,
and I bought into it for that, right?
Well, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy all 3.
Yeah, same.
So far, I guess I'm the problem. Jesus Christ.
But that story wasn't so much what bugged me. It was the past story concurrently being told in the same issue. I'm just like, I don't really need to know the relationship between these characters. Like, we know what's what. And really, was there ever fucking a relationship between the White Queen and Kingpin? I think they're just making that up for this purpose of the story. Sure. Right? That's what I mean. I'm like, you don't need that. Like,
you don't need Elektra. Elektra's got so much stuff going on. Like, they could put her story in her own story or in her own comic.
No, I know, but it was like she made they had to track down and kill 2 people in this, or I guess kill one person and make the other person pay whatever he had to do for the Kingpin. And the White Queen,
White Queen just
Emma's like, I'm the good. You're lucky I'm the one that showed up and not the other one. And meanwhile, you see Elektra going off and kill somebody for him. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, we get it. She was a contract killer, like, for the Kingpin.
That's what they did.
So I don't know. I just didn't feel it was necessary. I think they should have just focused on the X-Men side of things in this issue. Like you said, they didn't need Elektra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be more interested in the showdown, like I said, between the Thunderbolts and the X-Men.
Yeah.
It didn't come to nothing, but it's going to happen. But that's because it's a 3 issue. Like, if this was a one shot, maybe it would have been better. They would have compacted that whole story just into one comic.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna stretch it out for 3, and this is just the beginning of the stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. It was okay. It's whatever. I just felt it was, again, unnecessary. Yeah. What are you giving it, 3?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, same.
Easy.
I just felt it was unnecessary. Like I said, I don't even think it was bad. It just was like whatever to me. Like, that's why I'm giving it a 3. If it was bad, I would give it less than a 3. I just wish some of these tie-ins were
consequential.
Yeah, and if not, have fun with it. Like have a, like, you know what I mean? Like they take the
Doc Ock one. The Doc Ock,
fun multiversal Doc Ocks against each other, sure. Why not? Has nothing to do with
Yeah,
Devil's
get some crazy ideas out there, you know, kind of get some time to flesh them out. But
yeah, because you know, those the fringe books like that sometimes are the ones that work for me because you're not expecting it. You're like, oh, look at this little gem, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at this, what do you call it? Hidden gem of a book where it's just like, again, has roughly nothing to do with it, just because of the events of what's going on. He had access to the Fantastic Four building, and all of a sudden, it has a great story.
Got a new toy to play with or something.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, okay. Next up, Chris, you got King Spawn number 6.
King Spawn number 6. Once again, it's a great. Well, I don't want to say it's a great issue, but it's greatly drawn. Good art in there. Love the cover. We can't say if it's going to happen, if it has anything to do with what's going on in the issue, because it's just a nice cover there of, I don't know, Spawn there, kind of lurking in the shadows. Once again, I still don't know much about what's going on in this story. There's like some sort of Beyond type corporation that's trying to con Spawn into taking some throne. And, you know, and their battle ensues. And at the end, there's some big throne there that you say, hey, Spawn, you want to sit here or not? And of course he doesn't. So they're going to keep on fighting. But anyways, I'll give that a 3.5.
All right.
A little quick review. And we're up with Silver Surfer Rebirth number 1. I got one of the variant covers here, a Momoko or something.
Peach Momoko. Yeah. Nice.
That's a pretty decent cover.
That's nice. Yeah.
And I don't know, I think there's a bit of a bait and switch in this one here too. You know, this is another, you know, as compared to the Sensational She-Hulk number 1, you know, the things that happened in that issue seem to matter.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, you know, I saw a lot of characters I'd like to see. There's some like Kree.
Not only that, I mean, these are old school creators, like back from when you were reading doing this. This is Ron Lim on art. Ron Lim and
it's good art.
Mars, isn't it? Yeah, like I think it's
a good looking comic inside. You know, there's some good characters there. There's, you know, I think the big thing that Captain Marvel was supposed to show up.
Okay.
Like the original Captain Marvel. Like first it starts
Marvel, like
Marvel, yeah. Whatever. But you know, his son is in there, Genus Marvel or Genus Vel.
Yes.
I think it's crazy how they fucking try to turn Marvel and Marvel into freaking a name. But anyway, that's another side story. But you know, like you say, you got this the Kree Empire there. They're getting sucked into a black hole. And Genus Vel is trying to save him, and he can't do it. And then the big man here, Silver Surfer, shows up. Boom, he saves him. That's all good. But then, like, there's some big flash or something, and then now you got Silver Surfer ending up fighting side by side with Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, and you know, and Silver Surfer's like, "Hey, buddy, how are you even here?" And he's like, "I didn't survive cancer to talk."
Also, they're counting the death of Captain Marvel.
So whatever Marvel, Captain Marvel there,
yeah,
is there. Like he's aware of it, and
see, that's cool. I'd probably dig this. I think,
I dig it too while I was reading it. But then, of course, it all gets wiped out in the end. So that's why I didn't like it.
Interesting. So you didn't like the ending of this issue?
Well, I like the ending because,
you
know, he shows there's another, I guess, cosmic villain hero shows up. That he's gonna have to team up with. I don't know if you want to spoil it. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's
who's the villain that shows
up? Thanos.
Oh, that's you would expect it, I guess, from something for is this Silver Surfer black in this? Is he black in this or is he silver?
No, he's silver.
Okay, because the current Silver Surfer is like a black Silver Surfer or something, at least at one point he was in the Guardians book. So okay.
So like it was just a bit of like it was a bit of a waste of a, you know, it was a nice issue to read, but it all gets wiped out.
The build up was for nothing.
It's like, it was just a dream, or you know, it's like a reality. Somebody's got the reality stone. It's like, come on.
I mean, that does ring true to this type of cosmic Marvel.
Like there's a lot of hype with this, you know, and I guess that's what you should expect.
I think it's because of the creators on it too, though, because these are guys that actually worked during the Marvel cosmic kind of era of the 90s, like peak Infinity Gauntlet times, right? These are artists and writers that were working on those books.
But I think Captain Marvel is like one of the sacred characters.
I love Captain Marvel. Yeah,
because he's the only guy that's never been really brought back to life.
No, but he's here in this book, is what you're saying.
Wow, it makes it look like it. No, he's dead.
Okay. Yeah,
because like I said, it was just a dream.
Fuckery. Yeah,
or not a dream, but you know, a reality.
I hate that kind of stuff. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I hate that kind of
like if you're gonna bring him back.
Yeah,
and then you know, if you're gonna die at the end of the series,
bit of a cop out.
You know, you just put Captain Marvel on there to sell #1.
And I think this is a 5-issue miniseries, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. So what'd you give it though? before the end.
Yeah, before the end, I give this like a 4, but you know, with the end there, that's a 3.
Okay. Next up, we got A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This is a Image book written by Rick Remender. As I've mentioned previously, this continues to be a bit of a slow burn of a story, although it's really nicely illustrated by this Andre Lima Araujo. I think Araujo. I don't know. He's maybe Spanish or something. I'm not sure. But this issue had a lot of action. We're kind of getting somewhere now. Like, it's kind of been building. It's been a slow burn, but still very interesting. And the story's being told a lot through the art. And the storytelling has been interesting because this is a comic like many aren't right now. Like we were just saying earlier, many of them are bogged down in the middle of huge events and huge storylines and all this. This has been given kind of the room to breathe. Like similar, like I said about the She-Hulk, it was kind of like a nice, like let's revisit what we know of this character and who she is. This has been a slow build of a kind of an action, like, I don't know, like you can compare it to like a John Wick of sorts, kind of like of kind of an action kind of flick or something like that, but more not revenge kind of thing where somebody's tracking down and killing everybody, but like, you know, in that same sense, it's kind of fast moving. But although it's been a slow build of a story building up, it still has felt like they've covered a lot of ground with all the scenes that they are showing you of the character as he makes his way through the book. I'm obviously having a hard time describing this thing, but like I said, like it was a lot of action in this particular issue. I did quite like it, and I gave it a 3.5 this issue. I really enjoy the storytelling being told in this book. It's kind of unlike anything else going on right now, I think, in comics. So you know, if you like action flicks, I can see this becoming like a movie or something like that if it gets optioned. And a man who is fallen into mistaken as a hitman in this is basically trying to help out a family that he's come across who are part of the hit basically right now. And we're kind of learning bit by bit more about the story as we kind of go on, right? So it's been interesting. And then next up, Primordial number 5, probably my least favorite comic I read this week, sadly. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is just not been a miniseries I'm into. And, you know, it's written by Jeff Lemire, who I love almost all of his work. This is one of those small exceptions. This is probably maybe the first or second book I have not liked that he's done. You know, not everything can be a winner, even from some of your favorite writers in comics. This is just something I'm just not really interested in. I mean, most of this issue, it dealt with the monkey and the dog that they sent into space as part of the fucking space race against Russia years and years ago, making their way finally back to Earth. But they've spent so much time in space or going through like a different dimension, or you know what I mean, like time moves differently wherever up there. Some shit happened, which I can't even tell you what. And then in this issue, somehow the woman who was part of the project that sent them into space, she's like 40 years older in this, and they're finally just coming back to Earth, and they're hitting the Earth's fucking like core. They're coming in hot on this spaceship. And all of a sudden, I guess the government or whoever has, caught wind of what's going on, shoots down the plane, the airship, can't
have them coming.
Yeah. and then you get this like sad moment of the fucking monkey getting shot as it's coming into Earth's orbit. Like, and then the dog and they're all talking to each other telepathically or something. I don't like what the fuck is going on in this. I'm just like,
last issue.
The second last issue. Next one's the last issue. I'm just like, this is bullshit, this story. I'm just like, you spent 5 issues telling me like no, like not even like a full story, it feels like, and now you're watching me watch the whole issue. That's basically what happened the whole issue. These animals are coming back into Earth's orbit, and then the fucking monkey gets killed. I'm like, don't play with my fucking emotions with these animals. Like,
maybe the monkey's not dead. Who knows?
I don't know. Anyways, I gave this like a 2. I have fucking no interest in this book. It's going to be a small little mini series from creators I really, really fucking like. I love these creators. I love their last book. I'm sure I'm going to like their next book together. This just didn't do it for me personally.
This is what I worry about the Substack and all this stuff. They're going to be putting out stuff like this the whole time.
Well,
And-
he has a Substack.
Right, exactly.
Jeff Lemire.
Like, yeah, he should have put that on his Substack there.
I love Jeff Lemire. This is not, despite this series not being for me, or not digging it, I'm sure there are a lot of people that maybe do. I'll sing his praises. I'll continue to do. He's honestly one of the hardest working men in comics. I really do think that. Yeah. He puts out almost every single book he puts out, I think, is quality. That's why I pick up everything he puts out. But I hear you with the Substack.
Yeah, but sometimes, you let these guys run with their own ideas without anybody saying, hey, this is a little bit out there. They think, like if they're not, I don't know how they're kind of reined in over there, but if like they're under their own creative control,
right? And
there's nobody there to say, hey, you got to fucking rein this one in, right? Or, this idea is just a little too far,
right?
Or too much. Like nobody cares about a freaking
right. Well, this one is from Image though, who he's exclusive to now, and like same thing. They're probably just going to let him pump out whatever he wants from there now. I mean, the next book that
Could be a miss. I don't know.
He's working. They already announced the next book that he's working with this artist, Andrea Sorrentino, with Image, and they've worked together two other times prior to this book, and I've liked both the things they've done.
Yeah.
I guess this was just like that's maybe why it's a 6-issue miniseries. I guess they just wanted to do something different outside of their next big series they're going to do together to kind of like do something different.
Just something to pass the time, or you
it's just not a winner. It's not
flex the mental muscle.
I guess it's just very disappointing, to say the least. Very disappointing. Anyways, yeah. So next up, Chris, why don't you talk about Catwoman 39? Yeah.
Let's see, Catwoman 39. Let's see. I remember reading the description about this one is Catwoman works in a club.
What kind of club, Chris?
An adult entertainment type of club.
Oh, that's why you picked it up, eh?
I cannot tell a lie. I will say that piqued my interest in this issue. However, once again, it was I don't want to say it was a bait and switch, but really her working they could have been in any club. It had nothing to do with it.
She is working a pole on the cover. So there you go. I mean, the cover, you like the cover, right, Chris? It does have something to do with
supposedly there's like a 1 in 25 here that cover just went through the roof for this.
Where she's stripping?
No, it's just like just got her in there, whatever, the cat suit.
Yeah.
I think it was more of like what's that? The movie Black Cat. Not the one with Halle Berry, but
Catwoman and Halle Berry. Oh, is it the Tim Burton one?
Yeah,
with the stitches,
something like that.
That's my favorite.
They're crawling around.
That's my favorite Catwoman suit out of all, like, even the comics. That's my favorite Catwoman suit. Is that one? My second one is the one with the goggles. That she has the goggles.
Yeah, I like that goggle suit. That's a decent one.
Yeah.
But she didn't really need to. They didn't really need to push the story that she's working at a strip club to push this comic. It was a decent comic. Basically, there's 4 crime lords coming to Alleytown. Like, this is my first Catwoman issue,
right,
that I've read or bought,
right.
And once again, it's the first issue of a new era starts here. Of course, everyone is, but it seems like that's what's going on here,
right? I think it's because it's a new writer. I think this is a new writer.
Maybe a new arc starting here.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got four of the crime lords coming in there, and they're trying to, just talk about all the crime in Alleytown. And of course, Catwoman's there. She's doing her best to keep Alleytown clean. It's kind of like a Daredevil and Hell's Kitchen sort of thing, but it's Catwoman in Alleytown.
Right.
She's got her Catwoman crew, and they do their freaking thing. And there's another character that's I don't know if it's introduced, but that she's dealing with. And I don't know. I guess he's trying to get into her good graces. She's living in some freaking condo up in some closed hotel, but it basically just showcases all her skills as a fighter. Not as a fighter, but like her smarts in this, So that's why I feel bad that they kind of push it as Catwoman in a strip joint, when it's so much more than that, and the strip joint part has nothing to do with it.
Well, that's good to hear. But like you said, they're gonna put that in the solicits. They're gonna put that on the fucking news thing. Oh, Catwoman's a stripper again, but she's just posing as one. It sounds like.
Well,
right?
You always know she's posing as one. But anyways, the club they meet is a strip joint, so she's there.
Right.
I don't know why nobody fucking doesn't recognize her now, because she seems to know these people. Like, it's not like she's a known quantity there.
Right.
Anyways, it was a good swerve from where you read what the description is and what the comic actually is. It's better when they sort of undersell and over-deliver rather than other comics where they over-deliver and undersell.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So I give this one a 4. I like that.
Nice. but also, at the same time, you don't have to justify it. If I'd be down to pick up a comic if I thought there's gonna be a Catwoman as a stripper. Like, listen,
Hey,
I'm not
down for that too. Don't worry.
I'm just saying, sex sells. I'm sorry to say it is true. Let's take a look at some of these covers that they put out there, the cheesecakey covers. I mean, it's some good images out there, right?
Yeah, but if they're gonna push that, fucking push it in there the whole way.
I hear what you're saying.
Save that for an issue 50.
Yeah,
then.
Absolutely. And then I got X Lives of Wolverine. I think you were supposed to pick this up, but it wasn't at your LCS, right? So I picked it. I read this online. This is another one that I'm probably just going to pick up the collection for, but I figured I'd check out what's the deal on this first one, at least the X Lives, and I think it's X Deaths next week, right? Which is
I think it's like a weekly series.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be 12 issues, so all in 6 of each, probably, I think, or something like that. So, you know what? This wasn't bad. This is basically the writer and main artist of X-Force continuing their story somewhat, although I also feel that this is a good jumping on point because the story being told in this is like he's doing almost like a Days of Future Past thing, where Charles Xavier, and it's not clear at first either. You got to read the whole issue to kind of get the big, to figure out what's going on. So if you go in at first, you might be a little confused. Even if you're not a longtime X-Men fan, you might be thrown off a little if you don't know some of the characters and stuff like this. But if you've been reading X-Force previous to the series, I think that you'll fall in line and you'll understand everything by the end. Omega Red has been like working with vampires or something like that previous to this, so that's a part of this story. I don't really dig on that aspect of it as much, but he's the villain that is going back through time and trying to kill Charles Xavier. Or
Wolverine's chasing him,
or people that are basically have the Omega symbol on them. Like there's different people that the Omega symbols.
He's trying to get all the Omega levels.
Yeah. So in this, you find out they basically do a Days of Future Past where they send Wolverine back to when Charles Xavier was born. And at that moment, somebody starts attacking his father and mother, and they're trying to kill him. Cassandra Nova, who is his sister, who is used in the Grant Morrison X-Men, who hasn't been fucking mentioned for a little while, at least not to my knowledge, because I don't read all the X-Men books. There's just too many. She was mentioned in this because they give birth to her first and then Charles. But then you see that's basically moving forward. It's almost like Time Cop or something, or or whatever, like one of any of these fucking things where they got to go back in time and save people, right? It feels like that. So as soon as he saved him in the moment of his birth, he got transported to another time, and then he gets a vision of Jean, who's helped send him back there with Xavier, saying, okay, now you need to go this way and you got to find him in this location.
It's almost like Quantum Leap there or something.
Exactly.
Once he succeeds,
right,
poof, he's gone.
Right. So I dig that type of story. Yeah. Like I'm like, okay, I'm in for that. Okay, so because I don't really know much about like this lead in with the Omega Red shit and how that all kind of works out. But that's just who's chasing and trying to kill Xavier, and I don't even really know why. I guess just because he's like, I guess, such a big figure in mutant kind, right? I guess they're trying to kill him, but yeah, by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm on board for that kind of story being told.
Well, maybe in the X Deaths, he's either killing people or
maybe,
who
right?
knows?
So I gave this, you know what? I actually quite enjoyed this by the end of it. I gave it a 4. I think nice. I think the art was great. The way the story was told, the storytelling of it was good, just because, like I said, you kind of got it piece by piece, and then it kind of came full circle by the end of the issue. Yeah, I was quite pleasantly surprised, because I know we weren't really sure going into this one, right? So I dug it. I kind of like it. If this is going to be the trajectory of the story moving forward, I'm like, okay, that's not bad. And then you also kind of get to it examined a lot of inner monologue of Wolverine's psyche with the way his life has been, right? So you get a lot of inner monologue moments where at the start he's looking at it. I know it sounds hokey sometimes.
I've read some of that.
Yeah, he has his watch and he's like, yeah, this is how I think of time. This stopwatch is real. It doesn't work, but I know what it means. You know what I mean? But like someone who's lived, because Wolverine has lived like a long ass time, right? Because of his healing factor, right? Like if you follow Wolverine origin story, he's like you know what I mean? Like he goes way back. He's part of this prehistoric Avengers or whatever or something.
Yeah, right? It's probably same guy, Logan or James or whatever they want to call
Howlett.
it.
Yeah.
That's the fucking craziest thing there. When they fucking turned Logan
to a
Into
dog
James.
and James
Fuck
Howlett.
that.
Yeah,
Screw
yeah.
that shit.
But that's what I mean. It depends what you
that's when I
subscribe
lost his
to.
character.
Well, if as long as they don't go too far into that aspect in this, which they haven't yet,
Yeah.
I'm on board. So I give it a 4. I liked it. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Next up, Nightwing 88. All right. So yeah, I like this. I like this series a lot, man. I like the tone always in this. It's a hell of a lot of fun. This is the issue following, of course, that crazy issue of like perpetual motion where you see him kind of going throughout the whole city. What'd you think of this? Because you didn't read the last one like with us on the show.
No,
like,
no, I read that afterwards.
Yeah, so you
read
talk about this.
Here.
I've gushed about this book enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, I'll start out with what I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like the way sort of they have Nightwing or Dick Grayson. He's basically freaking Bruce Wayne in this. You know, like where he almost looks like Bruce Wayne, and they have him out there, but that's just a small.
And he's got the money now.
He's got the money, like
right.
And, you know, he's in Bloodhaven. He's not in Gotham. He's trying to save everything. Blah blah blah. That's fine.
I still think he's staying true to who he is, though.
But they just have him look like, you know, when they have him on the podium there. If they didn't say that was Dick Grayson, you think that's Bruce Wayne.
Fair.
You know, like
he's playing the Bruce Wayne role somewhat now. Yeah, okay.
I guess maybe they're doing it now because
got money.
Well, Bruce Wayne doesn't.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to supplant him as the Bruce Wayne, but I don't.
But he's being the Bruce Wayne to Bloodhaven instead of Gotham. So that's kind of a again. I hear what you're saying, but it's still a bit different.
That's just a small criticism to the story. But other than that, I think this issue is great.
Right.
I love seeing all the characters that freaking came in to join him and help him.
No, let's just say the Titans show up, guys. I mean, come on,
come
on, yeah, Starfire. I'm like, oh shit, like Starfire.
Like, you know, when you first see her, it's like great. Oh fuck, they got one, but it was the whole fucking crew in there.
Yeah.
Super awesome. I love that. I thought that was great.
Beast Boy. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's like, go, Teen Titans, go.
As an aside, I fucking hate the new Teen Titans show. It is nothing like the classic Teen Titans. It's very dark and bullshitty. Like
they missed the mark on that fucking Teen Titans.
Absolutely. But I've been I've been watching the newest season recently with the Death's Door guys and commenting on that. So reading this and seeing the actual Teen Titans show up in this, like you said, I was just like, yes. I'm like, thank God, like these versions still exist because like it grounds his character and actually gives him the family in that aspect too. Like, you know what I mean? Like they said that, like we're family, like we're always
gonna be worried, like when they have that show going on, that they're gonna freaking skew all the comics.
Forget the fucking
towards that, just to try and push that show. But good thing it's only on CW, where like I think the comics have more pull than CW has pull. But like fucking bang, awesome.
I love this issue too. I agree with you. But yeah, that's the big takeaway from this issue. Teen Titans showed up, and then he was like, you know, he's out heroing. Yeah,
you know. I don't know if they've been tight together. Like I don't know the history between Nightwing and the Teen Titans.
They haven't been around. I mean, they haven't.
So if this is like a new reunion, boom. I like it. Boom. I'll give this 4.5.
Wow. I'll also give it 4.5. I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Yeah, great. It's honestly one of the best superhero comics out there right now, guys. At least I could confidently say that. Like it's the tone of it is perfect. The art is fantastic. The characterization is great, and it just keeps hitting that like classic DC kind of like character tone. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the classic Titans show up, it's a feel good book. Yeah, it's great, man. Yeah,
like Tom King do this with Nightwing. Like, you know, a character I don't really fucking give
Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor, to do this with Nightwing. That's like, come on, that's a character I don't really care about, didn't really want to care about.
Yeah.
It's freaking great. I love it.
Awesome. Absolutely. All right. And then lastly, as always, Amazing Spider-Man 86. Great cover. I love this cover. This is a fantastic.
Don't need a variant cover when the cover A is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's a great cover. I mean, kind of very Craven's Last Huntish. Yeah, I just love the getting drowned in spiders kind of like aspect. If you've been
reading the issue or the issues before, I think this leads into the what's going on there. You know, he's got broken the last issue.
That's right. So yeah, what'd you think of this one? Also, by the way, I should mention that this is Zeb Wells, the new writer of the new relaunch of Spider-Man, wrote this issue of Amazing Spider-Man. This is him, Michael Dowling on art. So this is the new writer for the new Spider-Man relaunch series that's going to be coming on the book full time in a couple months. What'd you think of this, Chris?
Oops. Well, I think it cleared up some of the things that went on in the last issue, where like he's giving with Janine his mask and all that sort of stuff. They kind of went over that,
and we commented on that.
Because last time we're going, what the heck is all this about? Is she in on this? But so it cleared that sort of situation up a little bit. And I think it was a big deal when they're talking about always wiping Ben Reilly's mind.
Yeah.
And it looks like his mind is fighting back somehow. Like
he's damaged. This guy's really damaged. He's gone through a lot. Apparently,
I know they're fucking breaking me this thing here. I'm almost starting to like Ben Reilly, but I'm going to tell you, I ain't buying that new Ben Reilly.
It just came out. I think the first issue just came out this week, right?
Yeah, but that has nothing. That's not in the new continue. That's like back in the day. So.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't like him back then. I don't like him now. But if this was part of his story going on now,
they're making you feel for him.
I might have been tempted to buy it.
They're making you feel for him. They're humanizing the character a little bit here.
Yeah,
I think what he's going through.
That, no way. I ain't gonna break. They're trying to break me.
Yeah,
I ain't breaking.
He's a bum.
He's still a bum. Yeah. Like what? He's the Winter Soldier. There. Let's go wipe his mind again. Come on.
But yeah, so basically, that's the main story of this issue is Beyond is still fucking with them. You're finding out more and more about how deep they've kind of gone into his in his head or like his life essentially as a result of now they seem more than ever like prisoners of this corporation.
Well, but that hard drive is still out there.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's really bad. I mean, he really has no friends in the world, and he's like him and his girlfriend or wife, whatever she is like a prisoner to this evil corporation, essentially, right? Yeah. So, I thought it was a good issue too. Yeah, it was decent. What'd you give it?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Same. Yeah.
But I'm interested in seeing where this is going to go because now knowing that this series is ending at 95 or something,
right?
Somehow, I know near the end, Spider-Man and him are going to be scrapping it out somehow. So I just want to see how they're all going to work this stuff out. And then there's the Goblin Queen is that doctor that he's talking to.
Yeah.
And these aren't spoilers.
Yeah.
This has all been revealed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I almost think they revealed this stuff just to drum up some interest for what's going on here. Like, It's not like if you didn't know what was happening in the future, really nothing going on right now would be interesting in there. But that's my 2 cents. But yeah, 3.5, 3, whatever. Fuck.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. All right. So next up, before we wrap up here, talk about our favorite book of the week. What we're looking forward to next week. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this is a fucking huge week for us. I think me and Chris both got like 15 books or something.
Yeah, I don't got here. Can you
got your phone? Yeah, go ahead. Go and grab it. I'll do mine. So I got Amazing Spider-Man 87, Batman Catwoman Special #1, Black Hammer Reborn #8, DC versus Vampires #4, Deadly Class #50, Death of Doctor Strange #5. That's the last issue of that miniseries, leading into the new series of Doctor Strange. Devil's Reign #3, Harley Quinn 11. We got the Human Target #4, Justice League 71. They just announced that they're going to be dying in issue 75, basically, trying to talk about the anniversary of Death of Superman, 30 years or something like that, I believe. So that came on in issue 75. So that was just revealed. This is like the final arc, I guess, that we're going to be leading into that. One that I'm really looking forward to, which might be going under the radar for a lot of you out there, which I want to mention, is Peacemaker Disturbing the Peace. This is Garth Ennis writing a one-shot about Peacemaker. And Garth Ennis, I think, he writes a great Punisher. He writes a lot of great like war stories. Like I think like a dark kind of serious take on the Peacemaker is something that he'd be good at. And if that's what he's going to be going for in this one shot, then I'm on board for it. I mean, Garth Ennis doesn't do a lot of stuff for DC here and there. He will, but whenever he comes and writes something, I'm definitely going to be checking it out. Best believe that, boys. And then you got Saga, the return of Saga. I don't know how many fucking years later. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years since Saga, the biggest book that came out of Image for so long, since the release of that book. This is one of those books that people that don't even read comics would go and check out and pick up at the comic book store. Everyone was talking about it. The return of Saga 55. That's going to be a huge book coming out next week. That was a huge book that came out from Image Comics, Chris. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it was a big deal when it was coming out. But then it just stopped coming out for 2 years, 2 or 3 years now. I forgot how long it's been. Thor 21, and X-Men 27, and X-Deaths of Wolverine. And that'll do it for my huge fucking week of comics. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, I don't think mine in the list is quite as big, but I got a pretty big list too. I got Avengers Forever 2, got Captain America, Iron Man 3, Devil's Reign 3. I know this Winter Soldier. I'm thinking twice about that one now, but if I get it. Black Cat and Mary Jane Beyond #1. Lots of monster covers for that issue. Probably get a couple. Anyways, we got Amazing Spider-Man 87, Death of Doctor Strange #5, Thor 21, X-Deaths, Wolverine 1, X-Men 7. Let's see what's going on with DC. Action Comics 1039, DC Vampires, Deathstroke, Detective Comics 1050. Ooh, yeah, I'm probably gonna get that Peacemaker if I can find it.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for my DC. And I'm sure there's probably a Spawn that's coming up there while I try to figure that out.
Great week of comics though. There's a lot of really good ones here. Like I said, I don't know if I had to say what I'm looking forward to the most out of this list though. Either the saga, absolutely, just because it's been forever since it's come out. Peacemaker, and ongoing ones that I always look forward to lately again is like the DC versus Vampires. That's always been good. So yeah, that's
that DC Vampires is a big one because I think Wonder Woman's been turned.
Yes, I believe that's what's happening right now. So yeah, it should be interesting. And
and they're trying to turn the whole Justice League on Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, yeah.
And that's somebody you don't want turned. So that's for sure, just because of her power level, right? But moment of truth now, everybody. We're at our favorite book of the week time here.
I think we got the same one for sure.
I know we gotta stop doing this, man. What can I say? I will say before I announce my favorite book of the week, this one came very close. I want to shout this out because it is an Image title. It's not like a big 2 superhero title. Silver Coin, really good book. Seriously, guys, check this out. Like if you're into horrors or anthologies and stuff like that, this is I wanted to mention that's the only thing that came close this week.
This Avengers one was good too.
Yeah, so that's like a follow.
There's a good reveal there at the end. Like that could be something. This could be a key issue there. For some reason.
Interesting. But yes, here we go. Moment of truth. I mean, it's just such a good book, honestly, guys. There's no denying it. It's just a feel good, fun book. And they're doing a great job of it. So yeah, definitely Nightwing. And we're not alone on that. This is a book that a lot of people are talking about right now in the comics community, and rightfully so. It's they're doing a great job. I think this is one of those books that's remembered as like the definitive Nightwing run when it's all going to be said and done. So, and I'm even comparing that to these original series back in the day because I know everyone speaks strongly about the Chuck Dixon run of the 90s at the time, but I'm sure it still holds up today, but this is quite good. This is quite good. Again, for a character, I think that hasn't had too many definitive runs in
I think something special is going on here with this Nightwing.
Yeah, it's
with this Nightwing story.
They're just gelling, these two guys. They're putting out this writer and artist. I hope they continue on this book for a long time. And it being issue 88, they're gonna see through 100. They have to. Like they're gonna be on the book at least till then. You can at least guarantee they're on to the book till 100 for sure.
Yeah, like if these are supposed to be the filler issues.
Yeah,
and the story is this great, like what can you imagine when they try and do something special?
Right, absolutely. So there you have it, guys. Nightwing 88, our favorite book of the week. I'll close off by saying once again to make sure that you subscribe to our new YouTube channel under the Late Night Chat Network banner. That's the Late Night Collectors Community. That's our new channel. It has to do with all of our hobby type videos that we do here on the Late Night Chat Network, the comic stuff, the card stuff that we do, anything that's in regards to any of our hobbies or interests in that regard are going to be now over on that channel. All the videos are already available over there. Go check it out. Go hit subscribe. And after next week, we are only going to be on that channel. So that is where you'll be able to find your weekly episodes of Comic Shop Talk moving forward. It will no longer be on the Late Night Chat Network YouTube page after next week. So make sure to hit that like button, as always, that thumbs up, leave us a comment, keep the conversation going if you so choose to, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks again for tuning in.
That's it. Stay warm out there. It's fucking cold as shit outside.
Sure is. Bundle up, guys.